The 417Gamers is a group of board, tabletop, and card gamers in the 417 area code. This is the podcast.
Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast, Episode 19, Expansion Edition. In the 4, Andrea and I discuss 4 things we're looking forward to in the 417 area or its surroundings. We discuss Art Fest and Art Walk, Mother's Day and Mother's Day Festival, Best of Luck Gaming with Metagames, and Geekway 2024. In the 1, we review the Stonemaier B space game Apiary. And in the 7, we discuss 7 more games that we love that start with the letter A. Let's get on with the podcast. Welcome to the 417 Gamer Podcast. My name is Rick.
And I'm Andrea.
In the 417 Gamer Podcast, especially in the expansion episode, we talk about 4 things that we are looking forward to or have enjoyed in the 417 area. First off, best of luck with metagames.
Well, Metagames used to do several outings at local breweries, and then we took a break for the winter, and now they're back on.
And this time they're at Best of Luck, which is down on Jefferson Street, right behind Zyka Indian Restaurant. The first and third Tuesday of every month, Metagames will be out at Best of Luck playing games. Every once in a while, never know when they're going to have a little raffle for a gift card or maybe some food.
That's right.
But Best of Luck has some really good food, especially their truffle fries.
Very good.
Yes, and they've got a really nice beer list if you're into that. And they also have non-alcoholic drinks if you're not.
And they have really nice long tables.
They do.
For gaming.
They have those German-style beer hall tables.
Yeah.
Which is, if you want to play a decent-sized game, you're not going to be playing Twilight Imperium, but if you want to get Castles of Burgundy, maybe even Terraforming Mars to the table, the tables can handle it. The second thing we're going to talk about is the First Friday Art Walk and Art Fest. So Art Fest takes place in Springfield on Walnut Street. This year it's going to take place May 4th and 5th. Arts Fest is a great time. They cordoned off Walnut from National until it's John Q. Hammons Parkway now.
Yes.
I forget what it used to be called, but regardless, the whole street is lined with art vendors and craft vendors, and you never know what you're going to find there. And with it being on May 4th and 5th, if you haven't already picked up some Mother's Day items, some gifts, it's a great place to peruse and come up with a nice little idea of either purchasing, and I'll always wholeheartedly recommend you supporting your local artists.
Absolutely.
Or maybe gives you an idea to personalize something at home. And I won't tell you not to do a DIY it yourself. But also, go ahead.
Oh, and it's always fun. They'll have not just the vendors there, but, I think maybe we'll try and take our dog.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Because they're also doing a dog days.
Yes.
Down on the square around that time, too.
Same day, yes.
I think May the 4th, that Saturday, is going to be packed because it's also Star Wars Day, and I think Alamo Drafthouse is playing one of the maybe a couple of the Star Wars films. Another thing we're looking forward to is, Mother's Day is Sunday, May 12th. We just alluded to that at the Art Fest. So I'm looking forward to Mother's Day and having a nice dinner with family and all that stuff. And love your mom. She's not listening because she does a board game and I bless her heart.
Oh, she will play some of the light family weight games.
She will. She'll play a Ticket to Ride with us and she'll play 5 Crowns. She'll play the lighter stuff.
Yeah.
Especially around Christmas time. But love my mama. But Mother's Day is our local brewery. And they do a Mother's Day Fest. This year it is Saturday, May 18th. It will go from 1 p.m. to 10. You can buy tickets in advance, otherwise you can pay at the door, which will be a little bit higher. They always have live music. They have really good food vendors that'll be on site. And then they have their beer. And I personally think they have some good beers that I like, and then there's some that I don't care for, but I think that's just about every brewery.
And their Oktoberfest is wonderful.
Yeah, their Oktoberfest, they pull out all the stops.
Yes, but the wrong time of year for that, but I digress.
Yeah, but yeah, they're Mother's Day, Mother's Fest. So Mother's Day, celebrate your mom, Sunday, May 12th. Get your gift cards, your potted plants, or your mums. Isn't that usually when we get mums?
Oh.
Or is it...
Mums are in the fall.
Mums are in the fall. See, they should rename the flowers. What's the one you usually get for mom in the springtime?
Oh, usually tulips and roses.
Tulips and... The ones that look like a puffball.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The ones we had out in our garden.
Like... I don't know.
Okay. They look like a puffball and somebody's saying, yeah, you don't know your flowers. I don't know my flowers. I'm sorry. Get your mom flowers for Mother's Day or call her at the very least. She wants to hear from you. And then Mother's Brewery has Mother's Day Fest on May 8th. The fourth and final thing we're going to talk about is something we do every year. We go up to St. Charles Convention Center. And we're going to...
Geekway!
Geekway to the West 2024. I think it's pirate theme this year. Hit the high seas.
Yes.
Geekway to the West takes place May 16th through the 19th at the St. Charles Convention Center in St. Charles, Missouri. It's a big hall.
It's huge.
Yeah. I think they can hold up to 2,000 gamers, and they come pretty close, especially before shutdown. I think they darn near packed every bit of it.
Yes.
And they've been gaining steam back up, just like everything else. It put a damper on all everybody's plans, and I think they're getting it back up to the steam that they had.
Mm-hmm.
They always have a fantastic library, as well as play-to-win sections, tons of tournaments, big vendor room. If you want to go to a convention that's not ginormous, that's more focused on play, go to Geekway. It's a good it's a good convention.
Yes.
Great staff, ran very well. Also, while we're up there, there is a Bavarian smokehouse in New Melle, which is outside of Wentzville, Missouri. And I want to go by there and have some of those German-style brats.
Yeah.
Please?
Yes, we can.
All right. Those are the four things that we're looking forward to in and around the 417 area. Hey, we might put some show notes and some links to stuff. But, what do you think we should do next, Andrea?
Let's do our next segment.
Let's review a game.
Hey guys, Moon City Con badges are on sale right now. Go to mooncitycon.com. Enjoy a big library of games to check out. Play to win games, raffles, prizes, tournaments, so much more. Come play some games with me and Andrea. Go to mooncitycon.com and get your badges.
The One in the 417 Gamer podcast is our episode or our topic of the show, and this time we are reviewing
Apiary.
Apiary is from who?
Published by Stonemaier Games. Designer was Connie Vogelman.
Yep. So, Apiary, it's very far in the future. Bees are much larger, and they have evolved to where they have achieved space travel. Apiary is a worker placement game that uses bee ships that have rotational values. On your start, everybody will get a space mat, which is your hive. Then you'll also get a starting tile that will tell you your colony's power, as well as some storage and some starting resources. Your basic resources are pollen, water, and fiber. We call them squiggles. And then your advanced resources are wax and honey. On your turn, you're going to place your bee at a location on the board and take that action. The numerical value of your bee dictates the strength you get to take. So one is, if you're taking exploration, you can go one system land and discover a new planet, or go to a planet that's close and get resources. There's also, what are the other areas? There is an area to get tiles put on your board. That there's 3 different types. Farms will let you get resources. The bee tiles will give you an ongoing power, and the red lightning bolt tiles will give you a one-time action that triggers right then and there. farm tiles usually cost you water and fiber. The bee tiles cost you the pollen. And then the immediate tiles cost you the wax. On top of that, you can go and do the convert area. The convert area does a couple things. It allows you to convert regular resources into others. It allows you to combine a couple regular resources and make either wax or honey. Or, we'll get into the level 4 powers here in a minute. You can go down to the research area, which is where you can get research cards. Mm-hmm. And you draw as many as you have a level B, and then you discard and keep one of them. And then you have the gain option, which is how you get bees back. Because eventually your bees will max out to a level 4, and once they've been used, they retire, and they go into hibernation.
Yeah.
Every one of the spaces has a bonus for you placing a level 4 bee. In fact, one we didn't talk about, the carve action, is where you get these honeycomb tiles to place on your board. They're all end-game scoring, and you can only place a level 4 bee there unless there's a power that dictates otherwise.
Right.
Back to the explore option, if you place a level 4 bee there, you can go at least 4 spaces and go to a planet, potentially discover one if there's not one there, but if there already is one, you get the resources there, as well as if there's a bonus at the bottom, that only applies to level 4 bees. If you go to the expand area that we were talking about that had the different colored tiles put on your board, if you put a level 4 bee there, you get 3 victory points. Down at the convert area, if you put a level 4 bee there, you can potentially teach a dance. Teaching a dance involves you putting one of your cubes on one of the dance spots. You get to go through tiles and put 2 tiles, up to 2 tiles, on a strip that will dictate a conversion there. So it could be you put fiber and water together, and now you get to get a card at a victory point. Or now you can give up a card and get Queen's Favor in something else. The bee dance tiles will change each game. Back to the research area. The research area will not just let you draw cards, but you can potentially plant one. The cards you draw have either a one-time effect, and that's all you get to do with it, or when you plant it, you tuck it underneath your board, and that's more into game scoring. And then you have the gain option, where you gain your bees back, but if you play a level 4, you can get a frame, you can get a bee. What was the other thing you can do? There's another thing you can do with the level 4 bee in the game. So, whenever we review these games, we go on we have a rubric that goes 5 different criteria. We look at presentation. How does it look on the shelf as far as your own game collection and a retail shelf? Versus, or along with, how it looks when it's on the table and open. Because it does feel really nice when people come asking, hey, what game you playing?
Right.
You know, and a lot of times the reason why they're asking that is your game looks kind of pretty. Mm-hmm. Then we look at components and rulebook. How nice is that? How easy is it to get through the rulebook? Gameplay. Do you really enjoy the gameplay? Is it intuitive? Theme. How much does the theme tie into the game for you? Then it factor. How much do you really want to play this game and get it back to the table? So, Andrea, looking at presentation, what do you think of Apiary?
Well, it's funny that you say that because I have a new, one of my friends that I bring her out to game night. She's very new. She's very green. And we were looking at the wall of games for purchase, and Apiary was one of them. And she was very drawn to it. She's like, hey, this looks really cool. So I thought it was funny that this is one of our criteria, that she thought the box looked really cool. It's got a space bee basically on the cover. And it does. It's very appealing.
It is. I really like the way the box pops off the shelf. It looks different than others. It does have a black box. But with the art and the burst behind the bee and the block lettering with the outline, it sticks out. It makes you want to go over there and pick up the box, flip it over and look at some of the components, it makes you pick up the box.
Mm-hmm. It does.
So if you were going to grade this, we grade it from a 1 to 5 scale. Where would you put Apiary?
4.25.
You're at a 4 1/4. I'm at a 4.25 as well. That brings us to components and rulebook. I thought the rulebook was pretty easy to get through. I kind of read it through work, and we played through it with a friend of ours, Ethan, and I didn't have any questions on the gameplay itself, but we had some questions on the cards.
Yeah.
And one thing that Stonemaier does better than almost any other company is they number their cards, and they have details in at least either the appendix of the regular rulebook or an extra appendix book itself.
Yeah.
Because there are some... the iconography is pretty good once you get it down.
Yeah.
But if you're not as comfortable with iconography, looking it up a couple times makes it a lot easier if you can look at the number and or the faction and be like, just look at it and say, okay, this does this.
Right.
What did you think about the components?
We have other games that I like the components better. I would say that on the table it is very eye-catching. There are different play sections. I'm not sure what you would call it. There's the main board that everybody puts their pieces on. Then you've got your own board where you're putting your tiles on. And then there are the cards and the little cardboard tiles that you take off the main board and put on your board. I don't like the bee ships.
Yeah.
If I was designing a spaceship for bees, I think they would look much better. But functional wise, it is hard to see the numbers on the ships as you upgrade them from 1, 2, 3 to 4. And the way you do that is by turning them. It's a square basically, and you turn it like a dice. And it's easy to knock them over.
Knock them over, and then also sometimes you have to ask, hey, what value is that up top?
Right. It's
and
hard to see.
You're telegraphing what you might be doing.
Right.
Which, then you don't do it, and then somebody takes it from you. But
yeah.
One thing I didn't mention on, and we'll get into gameplay here in a second. Components rulebook. The B ships are negligible for me. I think if we keep this, I'm going to take a paint pen like I showed you online, or did I show you that? Somebody took a paint pen to the numbers on their B ships, and it pops.
Yeah.
Makes it way easier to read, and I think if we keep it, I have to do it.
Right.
Otherwise, I like the shape of the ships. I think it's cute.
I
like the art on the board.
Yeah.
I like the art on the cards. The player mats are thin, but that's so you can shove them in the box.
Right.
Components-wise, Stonemaier usually knocks it out of the park. I'm at a 4 1/4. The B ships not having the paint on the numbers is not enough of a kicker for me.
Yeah.
For me to give it much more of a knock than that.
Well, especially if you can upgrade it yourself. I'm just going to give it a straight 4.0.
4.0, okay. Brings us to gameplay. Worker placement, but it takes one of the things that an older Stonemaier game, Euphoria, did, where you bump workers. So a lot of times in worker placement games, when you take a spot, you're blocking others from taking it. In this, you bump. If somebody's got the spot you want, you just take it and you bump their worker out, which that worker immediately comes back to them and it upgrades to the next level, the next power. Or if it was already maxed out, it goes and gets retired.
Yes.
Which is good, but at the same time, if you weren't ready to get bumped out,
yeah,
you're like, oh, I needed him to stay there for one more round because I'm not ready to do the next thing. I really enjoy the gameplay itself. It is a little complicated. This is definitely a mid-weight Euro. I want to say this is like in the high 3s. Because if you look up Board Game Geek, they rate games 1 to 5. Oh, this is 2.95, so it's right up to a 3. So, yeah, I would say it's middleweight. What do you think about the gameplay?
It depends on what faction you get. The first time we played it, we blindly drew factions or starting player boards.
Uh-huh.
My faction's power was not very good, and I ran out of bees. And I didn't really have a way to get my bees back. So there were several turns where you and Ethan got to take multiple actions per turn, and I just had to wait for bees.
Yeah.
The second time we played it, I got a better faction, and I had a much better time. So I think that may have tainted my view of the game just a smidge.
Right.
Because I had such a miserable first play of it. But then the second time when we played, I won. So that helped bump it up a little for me.
Of course it does. I really enjoyed the gameplay. I love worker placement games in general.
Yeah.
I like the bumping mechanic. I feel so. I gave you the map that I started with. I think it's called the log. In the log, whenever you place tiles into your hive, you can gain bees back.
Right.
Otherwise, to gain bees back, you have to go down to the gain spot, and you have to take an action to do it.
Yes.
And taking a whole action to try and gain bees back is kind of rough if that's all you're doing that turn.
Right.
If you got to take a 1B to go get you another 1B, but...
And you've wasted your whole turn, and you gained no actions. All you did was trade a bee for a bee.
True. But those other maps that do not have that have other bonuses that are pretty powerful themselves, but it's utilizing them at the right time, and this would take more than just a couple plays to really get that...
Agreed.
That synergy. So gameplay for me, I'm at another 4.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm going to go 3.5.
Okay.
Although I understand your enjoyment.
It's worker placement. I like me some worker placement.
You do.
The theme. The theme, space bees. It's bees that have evolved and are space traveling.
Bees in space.
It's a cute theme, but while I'm playing the game, for me, I'm just mechanically putting a thing at a place to get resources, tiles, to convert into points.
Yeah. Honestly, this could be themed for anything. It doesn't really have anything to do with bees, other than the resources you get are bee inspired, like pollen, water, wax, honey.
Yep.
Could be anything.
So theme-wise, I'm putting it at 3.5. It does tie the resources into the things. Actually, you kind of topped me down to a 3. I'm just going to go flat 3.
Yeah, I'm a 3 as well.
It's not a terrible theme.
No,
it's
isn't.
a cute theme. But it don't, besides the resources and, some of that stuff, I don't know how you could make it more thematic.
Yeah.
But theme-wise, it's not dripping in theme like a Wingspan or a Waggle Dance. Felt like it had a little more theme to it.
It did.
What's the other bee game out there? There's another bee game we played, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. That leaves us with It Factor. How much do you want to get this back to the table? I'll just say it. This is a 4.25 for me. I'd play this tonight.
Woof. I'm a 3.75.
Yeah. So you would play it if I was really insistent.
I would.
Aww. So, the way we do our final score is we take our grade and we divide by the possible points. So, Andrea, you gave the presentation a 4.25, so did I. Components, you gave it a flat 4, I gave it a 4.25. On gameplay, you gave it a 3.5, I gave it a 4. Theme, we both gave it 3s. And It Factor, you gave it 3.75, I gave it 4.25. Which our totals were 8.5 versus 19.75. And our final score, Andrea, you give Apiary a 74, and I give it a 79.
Very nice.
And that's Apiary, designed by Connie Vogelman, published by Stonemaier Games. Yeah, you want to talk about some A games?
I sure can.
Okay, let's do some more A games.
Hey.
Hey! Oh yeah, by the way, this is also with the letter A, but we wouldn't allow it in our lists because we were reviewing it.
That's right. So we didn't place it.
Yeah, we didn't place it, so it's spoilers. The 7 in the 417Gamer podcast is our 7 games of a given category. In episode 19, we talked about our favorite games starting with the letter
Hey.
A.
Hey.
Jen is not with us for this. We're doing 7 more. So we're doing our 8 through 14. So we're going to start with 14, and this is a game that Andrea has not played. This is Archon, Glory, and Machination. This was published in 2013. Designed by, and I'm going to butcher this, I apologize to the designers, Nicholas Skaglagu and Sotoris Tisnatilas.
That's what she said.
It's published by Artipia Games. This is a worker placement game in which whenever you place workers, you have a deck or you have a hand of cards, kind of like a deck builder, but the card you play with your worker tells you what strength the worker is. If it's a gray card, it's just a bland worker and has no powers. If it's a green worker, it's a merchant. If it's a blue worker, it does this power. A red worker, like taxes. Mm. So going to different spots, some of the different worker cards will give you a bonus. So if you have your taxman out, you will put down a marker in the space, and if anybody takes that worker placement action in that round, you get to collect some money off of them. And then you'll have a merchant that might give you a little discount whenever you go to the store and buy some stuffs. Mm-hmm. And then you might have a soldier guy that helps you add more soldiers to the defense, because every couple rounds, the town has to fight off some raiders. And if you contributed to it, good for you. And if you didn't, boo. But this is a fun game, and I haven't played it in a few years. This is when I'd like to get to the table. Maybe we take it to Geekway. Who knows?
Okay.
But that is number 14, Archon, Glory and Machination by Artipia Games. That takes us to 13.
Animal.
Yes, Animal.
Animal. Pawn. Animal.
Yes. This, the designer is Klaus Miltenberg. Published by...
Yes.
Haba.
Oh, Haba.
Yes. Published by Haba. This came out in 2005. Haba does yellow box children's games. And there's a lot of those yellow box games that can be turned into adult drinking games. I'm not saying you should. But Animal Upon Animal is a dexterity game with a whole bunch of animeeples. And you stack them together. Everybody, in the base rules, everybody gets one of each of the animals. On their turn, they roll a die, and then they try and put that animal on top of the crocodile. First person to get rid of all their animals wins.
It's really cute.
It is. It's really good for kids because they're decent-sized animeeples. So it works on dexterity, hand-eye coordination, pattern recognition when they're rolling the dice, and winning and losing.
Oh.
There's a lot of us, in our ages that are not good at winning and losing.
Or the other things.
Yeah. That's scary. Yeah. Oh. Kitty, you are not helping. Keep going. Nope, keep going.
There we go.
All right, that brings us to 12.
Number 12, Acquire.
Acquire is designed by Sid Saxon. It came out in 1963.
Wow!
I know, this is one of the older games on our list. It's been published by so many games. 3M put out some games, I think in the 60s, 70s, that were their, the bookshelf series.
Uh-huh.
All the games come in a box, and the spine of them looks like the spine of a book.
Gotcha.
And so in Acquire, you are you're investing and divesting in hotel chains, in their stocks. And as basically you're putting out little tiles, Bakelite or plastic tiles onto this board, and when they connect, you can found a hotel. And if they get to a certain point and they touch another hotel, they merge, and the big one eats the small one. You make monies, you sell stuff, you buy stuff. It's a good game. We played this at Village Meeple about a month or so ago.
We did. And for being so old, it had still good components.
And good quality.
Yeah.
The
buildings were nicely shaped and they looked pretty good.
Well, we played a brand new copy.
Oh,
We didn't play the old 3M copy.
Oh, I see.
Just this game's been around that long.
Gotcha.
And it gets picked up about every 5 to 7 years. A new publisher comes out, puts a new coat of paint on it. Says, "Hey, this is a new game called Acquire." Like, it's not a new game, but Acquire is a solid game. The next game is number 11,
Arboretum.
Yeah, what do you think about Arboretum?
It's a beautiful game. First of all, the artwork is just amazing.
Yeah, this is published by Dan Cesar. Our copy is Z-Man Games, but Renegade has picked up this. Their colors are brighter than the Z-Man. The lettering is easier to read. In Arboretum, everybody is building their own grove of trees, a.k.a. Arboretum.
Trick question.
I know, I was trying to lead you into that. It's okay. We'll get there. As you're playing your cards, after you're done, if you have a path of trees that go chronologically, depending on how long it is, you score points. Only if you have the most of that type of tree.
Yes.
So there are like cassias, dogwoods, oaks, pin oaks, all these trees. But if you don't have the most value of cards in your hand, you don't even get to score that tree anyway. So you could be building up a massive collection of oak trees. Somebody else has got a little bit more in their hand than you do.
Yep.
You get to no points. Straight to jail. That brings us to number 10. Our number 10 is...
Adrenaline.
Yes. Adrenaline is designed by Philip Nadeau. It's published by Czech Games Edition. It's first-person shooter on distilled down to a Euro game. You played this one a couple times.
I have.
What do you think about Adrenaline?
I like it. I think that... I don't know that I would rather play this than a first-person shooter, but I think it captures all the basic elements.
Yep, and it also, it's a take that game that doesn't, I don't know, there are take that board games that feel very personal. This one does not, because you have to do so much work on a turn to get the resources, to reload the guns, to get in position so you can shoot on your next turn. Mm-hmm. You'll have some turns where you are just making sure you're not in the path of somebody that's going to destroy you because you're out of ammo and you need to reload guns. Then your next turn, you're completely loaded and you're ready to shoot a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy that game. 3 plays fine. But playing 4 and 5 is the sweet spot for Adrenaline. I really enjoy it.
Nice.
Number 9.
Alchemists.
This is one that you caught on and really liked.
I did. I love that it... I like the fantasy, the sorcery, the witches and wizards, this is making potions, basically. So right up my alley.
Yeah, this is designed by Mateusz Kotry and published by Czech Games Edition. Alchemist uses an app, although you don't have to. There are rules in the book that can run you through it. But in Alchemist, you're giving ingredients, and you have your own little deduction board where you're making notes. You can do little experiments, you can put some stuff together, and it'll tell you if you get positive, negative results. Mm-hmm. And through that, you're trying to find what goes together to make certain ingredients and potions. Right. But you're basically everybody's... You know what ingredients you have, but you don't know what they do. So you're all kind of novices blowing up potions in your kitchen. It's a cool little game. I would absolutely play with the app, not let somebody run it. And This is something Ethan taught us.
Yeah.
And I'd be more than happy for him to bring it back over and teach us again. Or give us a quick overview and then we play it again.
Yeah.
Then number 8.
Amerigo.
This is another game you haven't played, but this is high on my list.
Yeah.
Amerigo was designed by Stefan Feld. It came out in 2013. Amerigo is about Amerigo Vespucci coming to the Isles in the Caribbean. No, Kitty says. And so this uses the Queen Games Cube Tower, which is a cardboard tower where you throw cubes in it. If you've ever played Wallenstein or Shogun, that's how you do fights. And when it comes out, that's who wins. And everything that's stuck in the cube tower is what were your casualties.
Yeah.
Amerigo, however, those are your actions you can take in a game. You can sail around. You can plot land for building. You can build on your land. You can build up your defenses for the pirates and get cannons. You can get some monies. There's a couple other... Anyway, each one of these actions are different colors. So each round you're going to throw some cubes in the tower, and when they fall out, those are the actions possible in that round or on that turn.
Yeah.
And everybody does what they want, and it kind of feels like a roll and write in that fact because everybody has the same information on what they can do on their turn, and then you do whatever you want to within a degree.
Right.
So you're putting stuff on the map. You're making farms and all that stuff and covering it up. I very much enjoy this game, and I look forward to getting this one to the table with you because I think you might too.
Yeah. Okay.
So that is 7 more games that start with a letter
A.
Thank you very much for listening. We will see you for episode 20 on May 10th. But until then, keep gaming in the 417. Goodbye!
Bye.
The 417 Gamer Podcast is recorded and produced by Rick Bagwell and Andrea Smith. We want to thank Jen for coming on last episode 19. And our intro music, Kind, Gentle, Beautiful Person, and our outro music, Making Up for Lost Time, was created by Origami Replica. For links to the music in our show notes, head over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hobby Gaming Network. Say hi to us! Come out and play games with us in the 417 Gamers. 417 Gamers on Facebook. But until then, keep gaming in the 417.